Hometown Hustle, man. Episode 4. We're here with Ryle Owens, a Beaufort native, a basketball pro. I grew up in the gym with you, bro. You showed me a lot of the tricks of the trade, man. Super excited to have you on today, bro. How you doing?
Yeah,
Good.
welcome.
Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for having me on. I hit y'all up when I was overseas because I saw y'all platform. Was like, yo, this is what we need. We need people to talk about this type of stuff, not just for athletes but for everybody. So keep doing what y'all doing. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, bro. So I mean, you went to Salk. Well, first you graduated from Beaufort.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, were y'all weren't like a big powerhouse or anything at that time.
We had a really good team, man. Just a bunch of like knuckleheads, I guess you would call them, as old people say. But we had like a talented team. I think we like won the region one year. But we had a good team. We didn't go to state or anything, but it was a really good team. Yeah.
And I think when we had met, you had originally said you went to private school when you were younger, and they didn't push sports as much as they pushed academics. And that was kind of a big shift in your life of switching kind of from needing more attention into your sports. You said you were very multifaceted. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I went to like a school called Victory Baptist, or a Beaufort Christian School. You call us in Beaufort. It's a K through 12 school, but when I went there, I just felt like I went there for like the basis of like building a relationship with God, and then my parents put me in the school. But the academics was great, but I just felt like my social life and athletics kind of lacked. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So as I I'm going to recess, I'm like, man, like none of these kids play. They don't do anything. They not good at sports. Like, they out here doing different things. And I just, I told my mom, like, yo, like I want to play. Like, we all knew from like literally like a baby that I was going to be like a basketball player, but like the talent was there early. So, she signed me up for like, recreation ball, and that was kind of like too easy. You know what I'm saying? So she was like, I got to take you out of this school, try to get you into some travel ball or, something like, some type of organized basketball to get you going. And that's pretty much why I left, really, just because of the sports side of it. But the foundational side and academics, like it definitely like stuck with me, you know what I'm saying? But I left in like second grade.
So now what was it like trying to find a basketball coach in an area that really is not a basketball driven?
Yeah, like honestly, I don't want to like jump too far ahead, but the way I found really like my senior year of high school is when like the first influential coach came into my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, so all through middle school, like I don't think he was anybody that really like did play basketball, coach basketball. It's some local guy, somebody's dad, you know what I'm saying? And then high school, a legendary coach, but in terms of like getting people to school and the stuff that really matters, local stuff. And then senior year, we had like a coach change. His name is Coach Nate Livesey. He coached college ball and high school ball at the high level. He already had multiple pros under his belt. Came down here and like he pretty much just showed me the way. Told me I had to work out, do all the things that I didn't know I had to do. Like I don't think I ever lifted weights until like he came. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that, little things. So he kind of just put me on game about what it takes, and I just kind of took off from there.
Yeah. What was prevalent in the mindset shift once you actually got, a vetted coach that, knew the next steps, and, you're this 16, 17-year-old kid. You know what you want to do, but you don't even know, what it looks like. And then getting him and then going JUCO, I know those two definitely have a correlation.
Yeah, for sure.
You had to have a strong mindset to be able to do that.
Like really, man, like I knew I had to work harder than anybody else because I was behind. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like started off early in my like younger days, I was always advanced. But then when I'm thinking Beaufort, you know what I'm saying? I was advanced for Beaufort. But then when I seen him, I knew like it was way bigger than Beaufort, So I was like, I gotta outwork everybody in the country. You know what I'm saying? Like really. And he like instilled that in me. So I just kind of felt like I was behind, and I felt like I was lacking a lot of stuff. Like I was naturally talented, but didn't have like the work ethic behind it, or like the blueprint to become successful. And he kind of put that in place. And it was, like I said, from there, I just took off. And junior college is a whole nother beast. You know what I'm saying? Like you got a bunch of grown men and like younger kids, high school that's trying to make it, everybody trying to make it out. So it's more like a crab in a bucket type mentality in junior college. It's me, I'm 16, 17, dealing with teammates and a coach that's 24. You know what I'm saying? Like, some of these guys got kids and families, and I don't have anything. So it's like, these guys trying to make a living, and I'm just trying to get an opportunity. So it's, you gotta find your way through stuff like that, and it was rough, but I mean, you get through those things.
Yeah. And then you went to Young Harris afterwards. So tell us a little bit about your JUCO experience that led to Young Harris, that led to, your breakout to where you are now.
Yeah, so to touch on JUCO a little bit, like I had like 2 coaches in JUCO. We had like the youngest coach in the nation at the time named Corey Hendren. He was like, I want to say like 24, maybe like 23, 24. He's the reason I got to JUCO, and my coach from high school, I guess there was some type of connection there. I kind of had to like finesse my way into JUCO. I had double knee surgery the day after I graduated high school.
Wow.
So I knew I wasn't going to get like a college scholarship or something, but I signed to my JUCO, and then when I showed up on campus, he was like, I had like these 2 Forrest Gump knee braces on. Yeah, so he was like, "What?"
You're like, oops.
Yeah, like, and he got a red shirt you. He's like, "Why didn't you tell me?" I was like, "Because this was my only opportunity. I was afraid that you weren't going to assign me." And he was like, I mean, that was smart. He was like, "That's smart." So he stuck with me. He kept me for the first year, redshirted me, and then I played my last 2 years. So I essentially did 3 like real years of JUCO, but redshirt year. And then my sophomore year at junior college, we had a coaching change, and there was a coach that I did not get along with. You know what I'm saying? I won't go too deep into his story, but like it was just like a lot of bad business going on. Had favorites, was like suppressing like my skill set. Literally, like, I don't know if you guys know how junior college work, but your coach is supposed to like
Highlight you.
like market you to these other teams.
That's the point of it, yeah.
And he was putting like these low level letters in my like locker, like NAIA schools, D3 schools that weren't going to give you any scholarship money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I never opened any of those letters. I knew what the level I was supposed to be at, and I was like, every time I come and I see one, I'll just throw it in the trash unless it was something I wanted to. And then I kind of got my big break because we had a lot of high level like recruits at our school. We had like big teams like UNLV and Clemson, like all these big time schools in our gym watching other players, and I would be killing in practice. You know what I'm saying? So they would end up talking to me like after practice, and I have a lot of contacts that way. And then I signed up for like this showcase, didn't tell none of my teammates or coaches, kind of just went to Atlanta by myself, me and my mom. And I went crazy in this showcase and ended up picking like nine official offers, like full ride scholarships in one day. Yeah. So, and after that,
Congratulations.
thank you, I appreciate it. And then after that, my coach, he kind of was trying to get on the bandwagon. I'm like, no, but he would leave bad mouthing me. You know what I'm saying? So, that kind of like fueled a lot of stuff for me too. I just wanted to prove him wrong, so.
Man, it's crazy listening to you talk because I watched a lot of this stuff happen in real time. And I'll say, like, in real time, you've already, like, exceeded any outside goals. But for anybody that has success in life, that's how it always goes. They're always looking much further than, where everybody else thinks that they can be. Even, some of your biggest supporters, they'll be like, hey, that's good, but calm down. And I remember, man, like I remember literally when I was like 17, 18, we used to talk and you used to tell me things that you were going to do. And it wasn't that if I believed it or not, it was just, I'd be like, how does he think that?
Right.
Or how do you believe that? And it's like, how do you do that? Like, what is that? That's because that's a winner's mindset.
I was telling y'all earlier when we met before, like you got to have like childlike faith. You know what I'm saying? So like you got to be delusional enough to believe it's going to happen. I'm a big believer in God and everything. So it's like I told y'all, since a baby and a youngin', I knew what I was going to be. And that sounds kind of typical. Like, what do you want to be when you grow up? A basketball player or astronaut or something crazy. Yeah. But I knew I had this feeling, and I kind of just, some people don't really figure out what they want to be or do until they're later in life. But I knew, like, if I had to guess an age, I would say 1. Like, I knew. Like, it was I knew.
It was
like,
written,
I just knew, yeah. And so it does get discouraging when people around you kind of like, because you like fighting against, like you're going against the grain, what I'm saying? Fighting against opposition. And I was just telling people, man, like, yeah, I'm going to do this, you know what I'm saying? Like, even in high school, and like I said, I was multifaceted. I did everything. I was in a band, ROTC. I did everything. You know what I'm saying? All these sports.
You do not hear that. Band, ROTC, and Star.
I did everything. And they were trying to get me to get all these like scholarship opportunities for these things. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you can go to the military and play basketball. And I'm like, it's not the same what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be a pro. I'm not trying to be some military dude on the base playing basketball. And then band, same thing. I was like ranked second in the state. I got like going to all these all-state things. I had to do these
What instrument did you play?
Trumpet.
Wow.
Yeah, and I didn't even like it. You know what I'm saying? Like, my parents kind of put me in it. They put me in everything. It was like, you're going to have options. But I told them, like, I have one option. I don't have a plan B. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I was good at everything I did. But like I said, with the band, I had to do these auditions and ended up making like all-state second chair. You know what I'm saying? So I would have to go. I had to come here to Bluffton at the. They had like an all-state concert from all the top people from the different schools, and we would do it that way. And my band teacher was another one. Like, you know how much scholarship you can get for band? Like, basketball is not, it's not realistic. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, bro. So
it sounds like you had a lot of people that kind of went against what your heart desired and what you knew was meant for you. And so very happy that you stuck it out and you just kept going. No, this isn't my reality. I know my reality, because that in itself takes a lot of power and a lot of strength.
For sure. Like I said, my whole thing, it might have came from like a little sense of arrogance too. You know, as I got older, I got more humble, you know, but like, I think when I was younger, it was just all arrogance. Like, I'm going to prove everybody wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't know if that's arrogance or just self-belief, you know what I'm saying? But it was just like,
it's a fine line.
It's a
that
fine
you have.
line.
You know, you gotta move forward,
you know?
and then life's gonna humble you. But you gotta realize when life humbles you,
You got to tone it down a little bit and ground yourself.
Because
you know
some people take that and then they push further into there, and that's when that humbling gonna come and really set you back. Right. So I think that you need, you know, both to really get to where you want to be, man.
Anybody who is anything has to have some type of internal confidence. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, you have to have it. Like, if you listen to anybody great talk, they believe in themselves. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I was at, and I was like, I just want to prove everybody wrong.
Yeah, man.
Now, talking about self-talk, is there something that you do every day to like influence your self-talk?
Honestly, I mean, like, I just get in my Bible a lot. You know what I'm saying? I pray a lot. And I think a lot of the confidence comes from the work. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you do something a million times, you know you're good at it within yourself. Nobody can tell you you're not good at it. You know what I'm saying? So that's like the work, and just like I said, my belief system, and that was my routine. I don't say anything specifically every day. I do talk highly of myself to myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't ever doubt myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I'm all I have. You know what I'm saying? So like, everybody else against you might as well be with you. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely, like, you know, people call it affirmations and stuff, but I really just, I always talk positively to myself. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it sounds like your life is an affirmation.
It is, though. You know, it really is, bro. Like, everything you said was going to happen, you know, it's going to happen. And it's not because it's me. Like I said, I have a big belief system in God. Like, it's just like, you know, he do his part, I do my part. You know what I'm saying?
And he'll meet in the middle, because he has that blessing for you, but the
Exactly.
work has to be equal to it.
Exactly.
You wanting this blessing and you not putting in the work
It's
to
not
receive
gonna work
it,
out.
it's
Exactly.
not gonna be there.
That's facts. So that's how I approach everything. Like, not just basketball, but anything. You know what I'm saying? So
I coach now, and I tell kids all the time, they'll be like, but what about this? But what about that? I'll be like, why are you the one that's saying that you can't do anything? It's gonna be 100 people telling you that you can't do something. It's gotta be one person, the only one that can control the situation, is saying that it can happen. And that's you.
Yeah, I always tell my kids, like, can't, it shouldn't be in your vocabulary. You know what I'm saying? You might fail at it, but like, you know, so you do anything over and over, you're gonna eventually get it. You know, so even if you start, like, I couldn't always play basketball, but
you
can't
can't get to the growth without a little bit of discomfort.
Exactly. You have to,
and you're not going to be good.
You have to go through it.
That's
so
facts, man.
I don't know, new generation kids, they just maybe a little softer or something. They don't like adversity. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, like, my generation, I feel like everything is adversity. So you gotta get through it. That's just how it is.
It's gonna be there.
Yeah,
it's gonna be there. So after Salk, you went to Young Harris. I remember you were at Young Harris for 2 years.
A year and a half.
Yeah. So I remember at first you went there, you were doing well, but then it's like your second year. I remember you had one game where you went crazy. You hit like this turnaround 3. I remember I saw that, and now you posted a tape, and I was like, oh man, like, he really going crazy. It's like, tell us how that moment, because in my perspective, that was your moment where you're like, I'm here, I got this, I'm doing it. And then, you know, like, for viewers that don't know, if you perform, you know, high on a D2 level, because D2 is the second best collegiate level that you can get to besides a few JUCO teams. If you perform well at that level, the gates open wide open for pros, NBA, overseas, all the top leagues, they look at D2, and there's D2 ballers in the NBA right now. So once you saw all these years, man, like, dang, like, I knew I had it, to now, like, connect us back to how that moment right now leads you to where you are overseas balling and doing your thing.
I feel like the Young Harris situation, that was one of the schools that actually offered me when I was at the little showcase. That was the first school to offer me. He like walked me down and he texted me, actually I was on the way home in the car, and he was like, you know, my name is so and so, and I actually turned him down. I'm like, no, I'm going Division I. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going D1, I'm not coming to you. And then which is crazy is I committed to a Division I school, and like the day before orientation or like my official visit, they like pulled it back. They already bought my flights and everything. And then like they just said, they texted me the night before and was like, yeah, we signed somebody else. So
cold world.
So I ended up missing a whole semester. That's why I was there for 1.5 years and not 2 years.
Wow.
So I was home for a whole semester, like not doing anything, just chill, like literally trying to like work, like, and train, you know what I'm saying? So.
And now this was the semester that you were home, that you kind of took like a very low end job.
Yeah.
Right. And you were just like, the mindset behind that of going from like, I'm supposed to go to a D1 school to now I'm not going to school. And I think you said you were washing dishes, right? And like,
a lot of people don't know that.
Very polar opposites in that regard of like the mindset too, of like, how do you not get down in the dumps when it's kind of like, man, I feel like I've lost it all. Right. I don't know what I'm doing. How did you pick yourself up from essentially part-time working and training in the hopes to get drafted?
Like, it was, like I said, it was everything I felt like just aligned the way it was supposed to. Like the job I was working, I was washing dishes. A lot of people don't know that. I was folding towels at the YMCA at like 5 a.m. And that was because they allowed me to kind of like work out on the clock. You know what I'm saying? Like I was able to lift weights and use the gym. So I was like, okay, the Y is kind of perfect for me. But then like washing dishes, I just needed extra money. So I was going from the Y and then do my training. And my uncle was like a sous chef at this, like on Kalawasi or something, you know, and he was like, yo, you can come in and work as you need to. Like they knew basketball was the priority and they was already big supporters of me. So it was like, come and make the money, you know what I'm saying? But like, you know, we understand that you might not be able to make it sometimes because you got basketball as your thing. So I was only there for a few months, man, you know, and I kept my head above water. And then, like I said, got the Young Harris, and the coach there, he just made it, he put out the red carpet for me, if I'm being honest. Like he made it clear, you know, you're the #1 recruit, even though you're coming in at Christmas. He's like, you turned us down the first time. And he's like, somebody failed a drug test. And it opened up like a max scholarship for me somehow. Like I said, like things just be happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, so right around Christmas time, Christmas break, some guy failed a drug test. He called me again and was like, yo, we got a game. I think he called me on Saturday. I was coaching actually at Buford Academy in the middle of a game, coaching. My phone's blowing up crazy. And I'm like, I had to tell the other coach, like, can you do this real quick? I got to take this call. Yeah. And I go, and it's Coach Courier from Young Harris, and he was like, yo, you know, are you going to pass this up again, or are you going to actually come? You don't have anywhere to go. I'm coming. So he was like, cool. Well, we need you here like Tuesday. Yeah. It was like Saturday. Or it like might have been Sunday. Like he needed me like there like 2 days after the call.
Oh, man, he was lit.
Bruh. And literally, man, I got the Young Harris. It's like an 8-hour drive. I got there. He had all the coaches, like, they tossed me like it's like your practice. They just tossed me my practice jerseys, was like, get dressed, we got practice now. And they just unloaded the car with my parents and they just moved me into my apartment.
Wow.
They just threw me the jersey and was like, yo, we're in practice now, like get there.
Go.
So I went, and all I did was shoot for like the first 30 minutes, and then he introduced me to the team, and he made it clear, you know, this was our #1 recruit. He's here to play. And everybody was like, you expect people to kind of have pullback. Everybody was real cool with it. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And it kind of just, like I said, it just made like the transition super easy. And like I had a crazy semester. It was on ESPN multiple times. Like, and you know, from a D2 school, that don't happen too much. But we played on ESPN once or twice. But yeah, he laid it out for me, and I just kind of took advantage of it. And you got somebody that believes in you, is kind of a lot easier too. You know what I'm saying? So,
man, what I'm hearing is like, all the setbacks, you speak of them as very small things. All the wins, you speak of them That's very large things. So the setbacks, I'm gonna keep working. I'm gonna keep working.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep working. Eventually, you're gonna hit a win where things are just on your side, and you put that time and preparation and belief in, and that win is right there, and you just took full advantage of it.
And you just gotta stack days. That's how I view it. Like man, nothing was ever easy for me. You know what I'm saying? That's cliche to say, but like it's true. So like you start to learn from that. You know, if you sit there and get down on yourself, nothing's gonna ever happen. No, nobody pity. I won't say pity parties aren't okay, because sometimes you need to recognize what's going on, but like you can't stay there. You gotta get yourself out of that. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, consistency beats like sporadic. What's the word I'm looking for? Like
Motivation.
yes, like when you just get like sporadic motivation here and there, I think consistency beats that. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
So I just was consistent in how I approached every day. Okay, these days are bad, but eventually, like, you know, it's gonna show when it's supposed to show. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I approached everything.
Yeah, man. So young hairs balled out, and then pro journey started. Came back home again. You're in, limbo of what's that gonna be. So, but now you're in a situation that you done been in 2, 3, 4 times before. From JUCO, showing up, Forrest Gump like.
Right.
Washing dishes, coaching. Now you playing on Tuesday,
Right.
and then now you're like, all right, pro. Like, it doesn't matter what's gonna hit me. I'm gonna make it.
Right. Yeah, like the year I was supposed to graduate college is a COVID year. So then they shut down schools. We had a delayed graduation. A lot of people that was supposed to go pro didn't go pro. The NBA draft, everything. It was at home that year. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of things going on that year, and it was, like I said, it was just another waiting period that I had to endure. You know what I'm saying? It was literally just felt like this. It felt like everything else. It felt like me sitting at home that first year when I had double knee surgery. It felt like me missing a semester of school. Yep. So now I'm just like, okay, this is another waiting period before like my big blessing comes. That's literally how I thought of it. But this was probably the hardest one. This probably was like the toughest waiting period because it was the longest. Yep. So I didn't go pro for a little over a year. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not, at this point, I'm home literally like for a year. And I think I went back to washing dishes or something. I can't remember. No, I think I was just coaching full time at that time, just getting like training or something. But yeah, that's how I approached it. And I was coaching again, which is crazy. All my opportunities seem to come when I'm coaching. But I was coaching again with the same people I was coaching with the first time. We were on the way back from like Greenville, South Carolina, on a bus. The bus broke down. We're on the side of the interstate, literally on, like, with our kids on the side of the interstate. It's hot, and I got a call from my agent. I was like, "Yo, I got an opportunity." I literally signed a contract on the bus with my kids, and it was good because these same kids, like I was with them for years. They like how you were, like they saw from JUCO all the way up to professional, and they got to be there every step of it. So when I signed the contract. It was like the whole, like the fact that we were broken down the side of the road didn't even matter. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody was just like happy.
So excited.
Yeah, so it was cool. Like a lot of these experiences kind of just are random, but like you can't write that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? It just happens. Like
you never know what's next and what's around the corner and all the ways that you're going to grow from each step to get you to where you've been. And then now you've lived in how many countries?
13 countries. Yeah, wow. I lived in 13 countries. I don't know how many I've been to, but I lived in a lot of countries. And every time I sign a new contract, I hope it's a new country. You know what I'm saying? But I might start signing like these little multi-year deals soon. You know what I'm saying? Like. So
now tell us about the countries that you lived in, because I was absolutely baffled when you told me. I was like, no way they play basketball there.
Yeah. So So, like some of the more known countries I lived in, UAE, that's where Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Qatar, those are like the bigger ones that everybody would know. But I played in countries like Iraq, Syria.
See, that was what shocked me.
Yeah.
All I think about is war.
and that's all we think about as well, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you really don't understand what it's like until you get over to these places. The way I used to think of it is, like you wouldn't have a league in a place that isn't stable. Like, the league has to be ran with some type of money, you know what I'm saying? Some type of organization. So, like, not saying things don't happen, when you get over there, but like 90% of the time, these places are safe, you know what I'm saying? And if they're not going to send you over there to go play, you know what I'm saying? So, I was real hesitant. Like, my first trenchy country, I would say, was like Iraq, and I was real hesitant to go. I was like, yo, but I just call other pros that played there, you know, like, and get their
Yeah.
perspective and insight on what it was like. And you know, that's pretty much how I go about it. I call somebody else who's been there before, and
Yep.
I'd be like, all right, that's how I make my decisions, really.
Now, tell us a little bit about the mindset and the struggle about living in other countries. What's that like?
It's, I mean, like, to be honest, it's you know, I've been away from home since college, so homesick wasn't really a thing for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I kind of just adapted and got used to being away. It's rough, you know. Like, I mean, depending on the country, that's when you get more homesick. So, like, you in these nice countries, you really don't care. You just stay over there. But when you're in like these countries like Syria that have nothing to do, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
that's when you start to miss home, because you're like, all right, you start counting the days. How long am I here, man? You know, the basketball be the fun part, but everything else, you're like, all right, bro, it's time to get back. You know,
Yeah.
so I mean, like I said, I've been away from home for so long, it doesn't really affect me much.
Yeah. Now, one question that I kind of have is like, for young kids out there that do have a dream of, I want to go pro football, pro basketball, like, where would you tell them to start?
Start at home and work hard, because you're not gonna get anywhere.
Yeah.
You can't look too far ahead. Like, I think when you listen to most pros talk, a lot of them don't say like, oh, they envision themselves being in the NBA. They like, it kind of just happened because of the work they stacked day to day. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course that might have been a goal, but like, you listen to like some of the older players. Like, I watched like Jeff Teague and his podcast. He's like, man, I never thought I was gonna be an NBA player, bro. I was just outside every day playing basketball because I loved it. And then things just started to unfold, and I became an NBA player. A lot of them have that type of story. You know what I'm saying? So, unless you were like just ranked from like a little kid or something, you kind of knew you was going.
You got a few of those.
Yeah, you got
bronze, the chosen.
Yeah, exactly. But like, for the most part, like, a lot of them, I think like my advice to kids would just be like, man, the focus on start where your feet are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't think too far ahead. And if you are consistent with what you do every single day, like, and if you're serious about your growth, like, you end up where you want to be. You know what I'm saying? Cause I feel like when you start looking too far ahead, you don't really recognize where you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you don't get to appreciate the steps it takes, or you probably like, you might even get lazy. I don't know. Like, it's just like, you just looking too far ahead. You don't get to focus on what you're doing right now. So the development might not be as good if you're looking too far ahead versus being like present.
Yeah.
I like to say the presence of your input is the evidence of your outcome. You know, whatever work you're putting in right now, whatever mindset you have right now, stacking those days and staying consistent. You know, they say it takes 90 days until the work you do right now shows up. And, you know, over and over, time and time again, you know, you can suffer a setback, but when you work hard to fight against that setback, then you're going to see later on something else is going to hit you. But you remember the last time it did. And then it grows and grows. And then what I thought was pretty interesting is you said that the hardest waiting period was before you went pro. And it's just like, in every situation that we're presented in life, we have to fight that friction. And then the friction that we're fighting is how big the outcome is. So you said that, and my mind just went like ping. Like, of course, before you take the biggest step and, you know, your eventual overall career goal, you look at that as the hardest.
Right.
And then the moment that you got it, it can't get too much more humbling than broke down on the side of the road in the hot heat. And the Lord's like, there you go, man.
Yeah, that's how it is. And I don't know. I feel like my journey gets easier the higher levels I go. I don't know I don't know if it's the reward is like greater later, you know. But I feel like all the hard stuff has already passed. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm walking into like just a newer, easier transition of life. You know, it really feels that way. Like, I haven't had like any like major or big adversity, you know what I'm saying? Like, in the last couple of years, that's what it feels like. You know what I'm saying? Been playing injury-free seasons, just in terms of contracts, and everything just keeps leveling up, you know?
Well, and you're a point guard, correct? Okay. Because basketball really is a foreign language to me. Okay. So one thing that we had talked about is you became a point guard, and now suddenly you're having to teach men. And you're having to lead the team, and instead of just essentially being focused on your position, you're focused on entire group of people.
Yeah.
You said your first year playing point guard, you really struggled.
Yeah.
How did you then learn to control essentially your scenario, because I think that was the last time you had said, like, in your career you really felt adversity.
Yeah. I think everybody got to go through it. You know, these agents, they try to market you at certain positions just to, they tell you what's beneficial for you. And so for me, it's like I started off as a shooting guard, only a shooting guard. I didn't want to dribble, I didn't want to pass. I was just trying to score the ball. But like at my size, like 6'3", 6'4"-ish, like it's like you can play that position, but like if I move to the point guard, they'll be like, yo, you're a big point guard. You know what I'm saying? So it'll kind of be more beneficial for me to go down to the point guard position and just be bigger, like, you know, bigger than majority of point guards. You know what I'm saying? Usually point guards are like the smallest people on the floor, usually.
Okay.
So that was pretty much like his marketing pitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to market you as a point guard. And I did. And I was like, okay, let's do it. It sounded good. And then I got there and was struggling like real bad. Thankfully, I had like this really good vet. Like, he just took me under his wing. And I actually came in because he was hurt. And like, you hear these stories like NBA vets have like taken care of like their rookies. Like, that's exactly what it was. Like, he was just teaching me all the time, taking me out all the time. I didn't pay for anything that whole year. You know, like every time we would go eat after practice, he paid for it and be like, get something for later. Like, he was literally like a true vet, what a vet was supposed to like do and show the young in the ropes. So even in practice, when I'm over here messing up and stuff, he'll kind of like, yo, like, you know, see this, see that. He was kind of just walking me through everything. And I told you I had like a really good year that year, but it wasn't just because I was a great point guard. It was just like naturally I was just good. But then like the development mentally to become a point guard was mainly because of him, you know? So we over the course of, it took me like 2 years to really become a point guard. And once I got it, I don't think I've played any other position but point guard since then. You know what I'm saying? So like, so now they call me a combo guard because I can play both positions. You know what I'm saying? So but last 3 years, maybe 4 years, I've been a point guard like full time.
Yeah, that shocked me when you told me, and man, I was like, oh, point guard, because I never viewed you as a point guard.
Because I was never passing the ball. And now it's crazy. Like, passing is just like one of the people. There's this saying like, you can, how you play basketball is like the type of person you are, like the type of character you have. And I was like, the way I used to play, it kind of actually like, it's true. You think about it, the way I used to play, I was more arrogant, you know, not selfish, not passing. And then as I got older and more humble, like I'm a point guard, I like to share the ball a lot more with my teammates, but it actually is a reflection of like who I am as a person. You know what I'm saying? I want to make everybody around me better. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's times where like you are the best person. Like, I'm gonna use my last team as an example. Like, they brought me in with we had the youngest team in the league. And it was like, you know, they signed me and these other, like another pro, and pretty much told us like, you know, we're not going to win much, you know what I'm saying? But we want to develop these young guys over the next course, like 10 years, 5 years, you know what I'm saying? So, and we came in and had a season that we didn't expect to have just because I felt like of my leadership, you know what I'm saying? Like, bringing these young guys, I was pretty much implementing what my vet did to me, and I did it to them. You know what I'm saying? So before you know, these guys are improving. We winning games we didn't think we were gonna win. People are playing better, and then I ended up finishing the season when I'm pouring so much into other people. Before I look up, I'm leading the league in scoring. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was the #1 scorer in the league. You know what I'm saying? And I was, by me being unselfish though, which is kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just like things like that. I feel like I got rewarded for pouring into other people. You know what I'm saying?
And that kind of leads us into a really good question: is what did success used to look like to you versus what does success look like now?
To me, success was making a lot of money, you know, making an NBA, making a lot of money, like being able to take care of, you know, the people around you. That was like my version of success. Now, to be honest, it's just, I think success for me is being able to influence other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, in the right way. You know what I'm saying? Influence other people. And obviously still taking care of your family and your loved ones. Like, that's, to me, that's all that matters now. Just taking care of your family, your loved ones. And obviously my career matters like the most, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like I've gotten to a place now where the career stuff is, it's going to happen the way it's supposed to happen. So I'm focused on, I guess, more important real life things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got a decision where you playing at next year?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna speak on it, to be honest. Yeah, I do have some things lined up that I'm working on. Nothing set in stone, but I have some stuff on the table that I'm thinking about. Just how it goes. Just off season, you got to make a decision and you got to negotiate and all that stuff. So I'm
all the boring stuff.
it's a process, man. But yeah, I don't know. I actually might, before I go back into like my actual regular season, 'cause I think my regular seasons I play like in the Gulf of the Middle East. That's like my market. That's where I thrive the most, get paid the most, all of that. So I think before then I'm gonna take like a little summer deal somewhere. Something short term.
Yeah.
And we gonna see. We gonna see. We'll see
Nice,
what
man.
happens.
We'll be looking forward to watching you, man. Appreciate you coming on today,
I
bro.
appreciate y'all for sure.
This is a really
you.
dope one for us. 'Cause you're the first athlete, man. And the thing about mindsets from people in winning positions is they're all the same. You know, it's just different stories built on the same mindsets, different circumstances, but winning outcomes, man. But this is.
I'm glad that you never gave up on yourself, truthfully.
I am too.
Yeah. You wouldn't be where you are today without it.
No, I appreciate it. Thank y'all.
But thank you for coming.
I thank y'all. Appreciate it.
This is episode 4, Ryle Owens, man. Get at him on social media, man. Big influence in the community with younger kids, always in the gym, running camps. A really great resource and somebody that's willing to help, man. But we appreciate you, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.